All right. Oh dang, I'm lazy. I don't want to have to put up my camera and try to record this video on here, so you're gonna have to look at a video of me using my webcam. Oh, and a very awkward lighting situation. It's a Monday. I get a pass on a Monday. I make all my videos on Monday, so quality of these videos suck. Blame Monday. First things first, I'm going to be posting videos related to this project with the title on the beginning of them is going to start with SolidWorks. Every one of them is going to start with SolidWorks. Now, what is SolidWorks? We'll talk about that in a little bit, but the thing that you need to know right here is that SolidWorks only works on a Windows operating system. If you do have a Mac, you're sorry out of luck here. Your groups should be 4 to 5 people. You're going to need to make sure, I would say, definitely one person, but at least 2 people from your group should have SolidWorks if you want to do this properly. Now, it does mean that the other individuals are probably going to be more heavily focused on the tables and everything, or you're going to be borrowing computers from our we have computers in the lab, and you'll be able to borrow them every Tuesday or Thursday to be able to work with your groups. Collaboration is a little bit easier in SolidWorks. Again, we'll talk about that a little bit this week too. But for those of you who do have a Windows operating system, SolidWorks is the first thing you have to do is download SolidWorks Student Edition. This will give you the ability to use SolidWorks anytime you're connected to a DON VPN. If you do need to use SolidWorks and go elsewhere, I'm going to create a little instruction manual for how to do that. But you have to download a program. It uses a Global Connect. You actually have to sign in to the DON VPN, which basically it creates a route to the internet through DON. Makes it look like you're using the DON IP address, and as a result, you're then able to work in SolidWorks and have it think that you're on DON's campus. So I have to do that all the time when I go home and work on SolidWorks. But if you do have that issue, let me know. I'll send you a quick document. So, okay, this is specific to the 2020 to 21 SolidWorks year. That's what we'll be using right now. This version will be valid until July 31st, 2022. All that information is up here. Now, in order to do this, you just follow through the form. This form is posted on Canvas, so you'll be able to go to this form, look it up. You have ask me questions on how to download SolidWorks. Everything is in this form. In fact, I will upload this form right now while we're doing this video. So if we go to Files, here, as of right now, we have a Project 1 folder. Project 1 folder housed your CAD template drawing, had your design Project 1 description, had a sample file that I uploaded. Project 2 is going to be very similar. So if I go back here to the course, I'm going to create a folder quick called Project 2. Okay, in Project 2, I'm going to go ahead and upload this file that explains how to download the SolidWorks. So go to Project 2, you'll find the SolidWorks student version, download file, you'll be able to download that. It will explain how to step through it. This file shows 10,000 different tabs open. This shows all the information that you need to know in order to download it. I even already filled out, yes, already filled out this. First name, last name, you got to use your DON email. You may have to submit some validation. And then when the program asks you for a license key, this is what you use. All right. This does entitle you to all of the SolidWorks Suite products. I do like SolidWorks Suite products. If you want to use the rest of them, next year we will be using SolidWorks Simulation. Probably just going to end up basic SolidWorks, maybe some SolidWorks Visualize this year. So really only need SolidWorks and probably SolidWorks Visualize. Everything else is, you can play around with it as you wish. So follow those instructions. Now, what is SolidWorks? Well, SolidWorks itself is a lot like AutoCAD. SolidWorks, I have 2018 on my computer. My computer's going to freak out because I have 10,000 different tabs open right now. I'm going to go ahead and close some of these just because the resource monitor says, oh snap, what are you doing to me, Kale? Why do you have 10,000 windows open? I don't know if Streamlabs is going to work well with SolidWorks. I have never done Streamlabs and SolidWorks together before. We'll find out. I'm going to have this thing down here all the time. SolidWorks is a resource hog. You cannot buy a powerful enough computer that will run SolidWorks. So the goal is just get one that works. Okay, so when you open up SolidWorks, nothing too impressive. The thing that differentiates SolidWorks from AutoCAD, and I'm going to show you this in a second, is that for SolidWorks, first of all, not every creation is equal. There are 3 different types of drawings in SolidWorks. One of them is a part, one of them is an assembly, and one of them is a drawing file. Your part, you could think of it like, imagine, say if I had a whiteboard marker, because that's what's right next to me. This cap is itself a single part. The body of this is a single part. This felt tip is a single part. The tube in here that holds all of the fluid is a single part. The cap down here is a single part, and it would have to be assembled separately. All of these come together to form an assembly. Okay, so an assembly is a collection of parts. Parts are anything that you would manufacture, and then the drawing, what that is it's like your layout tab in AutoCAD. We'll get into drawings the closer to the end of the semester we get. Drawings are really how you take everything you're working on and make them look professional. So we won't really be touching drawings yet. We're going to be focusing on parts right now. And the nice thing about this is you can have 5 different people making parts simultaneously, putting them in a shared Google folder, and then downloading the parts and engaging that way. So parts, it's a lot easier because then you can have somebody download a part, modify it, upload it back, and have everybody then download that new part. It makes things a lot nicer. That's another thing that we'll probably need to talk about this week in groups, is how to really collaborate in a SolidWorks environment. I'm going to go ahead and start by making a part. Now, the biggest difference between SolidWorks and AutoCAD. In AutoCAD, you have to know what your dimensions are, and then you draw those dimensions. And if you need to go back and scale things, you need to go back and change things, it's actually a pain in the butt. It's really, really bad. In SolidWorks, everything is designed to be adjustable. The idea is this is made so that you can go back and fix any issues, update designs, fix any problems, remake, whatever. Rebuild components entirely if needed. Okay, and you'll see that in a second. So when you open up a part, you'll see this. Now, none of these features up here in this features tab help you at all right away. The first thing we need to do is go to the sketch tab. Okay, inside of the sketch tab, you'll see a lot of different things. First thing you're going to want to do though is you have to start a sketch. In a brand new drawing, as soon as you hit sketch, it'll ask you what plane do you want to create a sketch on. Okay, that's a little different. I'm going to go ahead and pick, I like doing it in the top plane just because I'm a little weird. If you do it in the front plane, it's got X, Y coordinates. I love drawing in the top plane though. I'm gonna pick front plane for this one. Okay, and what we're gonna be doing now is I'm just gonna go ahead and drop a circle. Okay, yay! Look, it's a circle. Now you'll notice I didn't draw any dimensions in. You can go over here and try to pick where the center point of the circle is, what the radius is, what the diameter is. You can adjust this right here. Don't do that. you can adjust all of the operations here and it won't mean anything. Because really, your key indicator here is the smart dimension. Dimensions in AutoCAD were put in, I told you to put all of them in on the layout tabs. Here, dimensions are actually driving entities in SolidWorks. So if I go ahead and click on, oop, I gotta hit escape to get out of the circle. I'm still in, you'll notice the exit sketch button is great over here. If I click on that, I will be done with the sketch. You'll notice right now all of the lines are blue. So I clicked on Smart Dimension, I'm using the Smart Dimension tool, click on this, pull it out. It gives me this sign, which that's a diameter sign. And let's say I'm gonna make a donut, because why not? And my donut's gonna be, I shouldn't do this while hungry. It's 12 inches in diameter. Okay, and you can actually change your units too, so you can work in millimeters. I'm just gonna work in inches because it's a lot easier here. So I got a 12-inch diameter donut. Awesome. Well, donuts have to be hollow, so I'm going to go in here and I'm going to create another circle. Now, what I'm going to do is, you'll notice when I create a circle for the inside of my donut, I can put it anywhere. I don't have to put it on top of my circle. And I'll show you why. What a lot of this is done is, first of all, dimensions are really driving, but the second driving feature here is something called a relation. Okay? If I click on the down arrow and go to add relation, I can click two things and I can make them have a relationship. So here, I want the two centers of the circle, I want them to be merged. That means they're one point. I'll go ahead and hit merge, and you'll notice now, whatever I do, I cannot grab this circle and drag the center circle out of the outside circle. They're stuck together. Their center points are merged. Okay. Now, I can still grab this, drag it around. You'll notice, though, if I grab the outside rim of this circle and drag it around, first of all, it's not even letting me move it at all. It's not doing anything. Just grab on this and it does nothing at all. If we're grabbing the outside rim of this one, I can make it bigger or smaller. Woo, woo, woo! Just because I haven't defined what the size of that inner circle is yet. So I'm going to go up to my dimensions. I'm going to go ahead and I'm just going to create this dimension. And I'm going to say, how thick do I want my donut to be? I want it to be like super thick. 3-inch thick. Okay? So I want a 3-inch thick donut that's 12 inches in diameter. You know what? I want a 4-inch thick donut. I like donuts with thickness. That's a good looking donut right there. The donut's this big. It's great. Okay, but you'll again notice that all of these lines are blue. For you, that probably doesn't mean anything, but it means if I grab onto this point, I can move this, I can click on it and drag it and move it anywhere I want. In SolidWorks, we don't really like that, because quite frankly, it means the drawing is not fully defined. In order to fully define this feature, I need to know where the center point of that circle is going to be. I really have no reason not to put it at this red thing right here, which is the center coordinates. So I'm going to go ahead and add relation. Selected entities, pick the center, put it right here. Okay, and then I'm going to make them coincident. And now you'll notice, as soon as I do that, everything in my drawing turns black. I only had to put in 2 dimensions. And these dimensions, I can jump in here and I can adjust this. You know what? I want a thicker donut. Give me that 4.5. I want a 4.5 inch wide donut. Or you know what? 12 inches is gigantic, but I want bigger. I'm starving. Give me a 20-inch donut. I can do that. And I can adjust this, and it takes a couple clicks and a couple changes to do that. And this is the big difference between SolidWorks. SolidWorks is feature-oriented. It isn't coordinate-oriented, which is what AutoCAD is. It is feature-oriented. The features themselves are adjustable. So we're going to take advantage of that a lot in this class and throughout all of SolidWorks, because it makes things a lot, in my mind, it makes things a lot simpler to design. Here I just created a simple donut shape. Yeah, I could have done this in AutoCAD. It wouldn't have been too hard. But I created this simple donut shape. But now, because I can adjust these features, what I'm going to do is I'm going to exit the sketch. I'm going to go over to my Features tab, and I've got a bunch of options available to me. I can have a revolved boss base. which the nice thing about this is it allows you to revolve a certain geometry. I could create a hollow donut that's friggin' huge. It should look like a tire at that point. I could use a sweep, which would allow me to extrude this over a feature. I can do a lofted base, which just connects two faces together. I can create a cut. Not yet because I don't have any solid features. But I'm going to start with an extruded boss base. It just gives me the ability to extrude a little bit. So here, this distance right here shows off how far you're extruding. I'm going to go ahead and change this to, you know what, I'm going to make it 4.5 inches. Okay, so it's the same thickness as my donut ring. Up here, where do you want to extrude to? If you had a vertex on your drawing, you could have it extrude all the way up. That's a nice way to merge bodies, up to face, up to body, or you could do a mid-plane, which allows you to extrude one direction and then the other direction. A blind just lets you extrude one direction, you don't care. You can switch the direction of the blind. You'll notice the arrow switches. It's extruding this direction versus this direction. I'm going to go ahead and go with the default where it's extruding along the positive z-axis. And it selects the plane. You'll notice right here it automatically shades in the center of this, which is really handy. SolidWorks is predicting what I want to extrude based on my last drawing. Go ahead and hit yes. And now I have a washer looking donut. It's got very rigid edges on the edge here, but it's a donut. Now I can take my features tab and I can do a whole bunch of adjustments now. You'll notice I can now do cuts, swept cuts, loft cuts, boundary cuts. Now that I have a 3D object, I can cut into that object. I can make little holes in there for cream filling. I could stab holes in there and, you know, maybe insert some toothpicks or something. There's a lot of ways, you know, for the donut for my enemies. It's massive and they can't resist it, but it's full of toothpicks. Ha ha, ha 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 ha. Ah, devious. But the thing that I'm going to look at here is you could take this and you could mirror a whole array of these features too. Let's say this was going to be a port that was being drilled onto, I don't know, a feature, something. You could take this hole and you could make it go elsewhere. Fillet works a whole lot like what we were doing in AutoCAD. Now, first, over here, this is kind of the left side of your screen. This is your properties. This is going to be the command that basically you're going to adjust everything you're doing. So I'm going to go ahead and click on this rounded edge. It's going to ask me what I want for my radius value. Here, I want my radius to be half of 4.5 inches. So I'm going to go ahead and say 2.25 inches. And I hit enter. I've got my radius selected. I want it to be circular. I want it to look like this. I'll go ahead and hit yes. And you'll notice that now I've got a round donut. Okay? And you'll see over here in this tree kind of tells us all of the component information that's being stored in this part file. Where are the planes? Where is the origin located? What kind of features are being added onto here? You can also add things like what kind of materials are being chosen, what kind of all of these different fun things. If I click the down arrow on this boss extrude, which you'll notice I click the boss extrude to make the donut, you'll see this is where sketch 1 is. If I click on sketch 1, it actually shows me what sketch 1 is. If I right click on sketch 1, I can go back in and I can edit the sketch. And I can do that. I can now go in and say, well, 20 inches is friggin' huge for a donut. I still want this to be 4. But I'm going to go ahead and change this now to 4 inches because I want to make this smaller. Instead of, exit it out. Go back and edit the sketch. Double click on this and change this back to 12. Okay. A little bit smaller of a donut. Hit enter, hit exit sketch, and there's my donut. Now I'm going to have to change this fillet real quick just because I made it 4.5 inches. Now that my radius is only 4 inches, I'm going to go ahead and drop this down. Also, I can do a full preview. That'll show me the yellow lines that show up there. Show me exactly what's going to look like when it's done. I had it selected no preview. I don't know why anybody would want no preview, but whatever. I'm gonna select 2, hit enter. Should make the radius a little smaller. But then up here in the items to fill it, I'm gonna go ahead and click this box. I'm gonna select this back edge. And hit yeah. And now look at that donut. Heck yeah. You know what I need to do on these inside rims too. I got 2 edges, this one and this one. I need to fill out those edges too. So I'm going to do that quick. Oh no, I'm going to do it in the same feature. So we're all in this together. Edit feature. Go in, select items to fill it, inner edge and outer edge, and yes. And oh heck yeah, I just made myself lunch. So really simple to work in. I just created a 3D feature. It's not too hard. Now, I'm not going to be showing you how to use SolidWorks in these videos. I'm going to be giving you SolidWorks tutorials a lot like the way that we did AutoCAD. If I focus my efforts on teaching you how to do SolidWorks, we're not going to be able to finish Project 2. For your Project 2 assignment for this semester, you and your team are going to be developing a single-person vehicle. Okay? I'm going to be developing a bicycle. You can develop a unicycle. You can develop a recumbent bicycle. If you really wanted to make a motorcycle, you could. I'm going to be creating a human-powered single-person vehicle. Okay? Maybe I should make a big wheel. That would be really fun. I'm going to make an adult version of a big wheel, because there are some that exist, but man, I want to relive my childhood. Also, I just remembered why they haven't made an adult version of a big wheel. Oops. You know what? I'm doing it anyways. So that's going to be your Project 1. Again, I'm going to post the document for it later this week. And we'll be talking about teams in class this week. So, yeah, we'll get more into SolidWorks with your modeling learning assignments, which you'll have those start up again for SolidWorks. And you will, yeah, we'll just be continuing to learn in SolidWorks and develop in SolidWorks. We'll talk about tolerancing, we'll talk about all these things, but you'll get that document later this week. So I'll see you in class, and enjoy the rest of